Hello guys and welcome, it is ThatSrb2DUDE here today bringing you yet another Splatoon 2 video. It's been a while because today we have got a patch comparison video. Today we are going to be comparing version 5.0 to version 5.1 which has been distributed today. So without any further rambling, let's get into it. Starting off with the splatter shot, the ink consumption has been decreased by 8%, so basically the splatter shot is now much more efficient when it comes to shooting. Next up, we have got the Lunar Blaster. There has been a decreased amount of time after firing before being able to take further actions by roughly 4 frames. The weapon also has decreased ink consumption by 17%, so the weapon is now much faster and is also more ink efficient. It seems you have 2 extra shots due to this. For the L3 Nozzlenose, there has been increased ink consumption by roughly 15%, and there has been reduced effects of main power-up when applied to the L3 Nozzlenose. Basically, if you add 1 main and 3 subs of main power-up, this will no longer do 99.9 damage. You will now need 1 main and 5 subs to do this. For the Splat Charger, they have slightly narrowed the area covered by ink droplets from fired shots, so pretty much as you can see from the examples, the Splat Charger just paints a little less, especially when tap firing. For the Bamboozler, there has been reduced effects of main power-up. Previously, beforehand, you needed 3 mains and 4 subs of main power-up to apply 99.9 damage. Now you're going to need 3 mains and 5 subs to do this. For the Baller, when activated, the duration has been decreased from roughly 7 seconds to 6 seconds. Speaks for itself, the Baller doesn't last as long now. And lastly, we have the Splashdown. They have extended the area within which damage is dealt upwards. This change makes it easier to deal damage to mid-air opponents from even a moderate distance. There is no change to the damage area for opponents standing near but lower than the epic center of the blast. There's also been increased damage dealt to opponents' ballers by roughly 21%, meaning ballers will basically pop instantly wherever a splashdown is. And that is pretty much all the patch notes that we have received. There's honestly not that much really compared to previous patches, which is pretty much expected. You know, we don't really expect a massive overhaul on a majority of weapons because not a lot of them really need buffs besides like the Elite. Just give that thing some more range, please, Splatoon devs. I'm waiting for April. This is like the last chance that I can hope that the Elite's range will just be buffed to the point of Splatoon 1 and the Elite Master Race 220XX can then rise again. April is the last chance for that. Please, Splatoon devs, we are counting on you. But either way, let's kind of talk about the patch that we have received. What are the bigger changes and all that type of stuff. Before we actually get into that, just to go over the main things within the special point changes and all that type of stuff. I think the things that we need to look at is the Tentatek Splatter Shot and the L3 Nozzlenose. Tentatek obviously going from 210 to 200, so that's very, very big for that weapon in particular. It means it's going to get inkjet much faster, which is really nice. The L3 Nozzlenoses, I think we should look at those. Both of them, besides the cancer variant, going up by 20 points, which is going to hurt it a little bit. Honestly, from myself, I used a little bit of the L3 just to kind of feel it out, the ink efficiency lost, and honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's actually just more fair in general. It could be a thing where you might notice it more. If you're the type of person who throws out their sub-weapon every now and then, you probably might notice it more, but if it's not something that you use every so often, then it's probably not going to hurt you as much. I still think the L3D probably will get a little bit of less use just because of the ink efficiency stuff, and also because it takes a lot longer for you to get an inkjet. It's still going to be the quicker inkjet weapon, so there might be some people who will still use it. Probably the OG L3 Nozzlenose specialists and all that. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult to use nowadays. Talking about the original L3, undoubtedly I think we're still going to see the likes of this weapon, especially for Clan Blitz. I don't think there's any other weapon in the game that builds a baller quicker than this weapon, probably other than like the Kensa dualies, but not really a lot of people use that. Still going to be a really nice baller weapon. 210, a person who uses this weapon for baller, they're probably going to play safer instead of more in-your-face Slayer-ish, whatever, because they're going to want to save that baller to get to certain places and all that. just thinking about it too, the Luna Blaster of course being 4 frames faster, and of course the decreased ink consumption, so it has 2 extra shots now. This actually might play a big factor and may be seen more in Clamlet, since one of the Luna Blasters also do have Baller. I think if somebody was to use the Luna Blaster for the Baller in this way, it might be something worth considering, as long as you have some decent weapons to pair with this and help paint the way for the Luna Blaster. It might not be the worst idea to go for it. And just to talk about the Luna Blaster in general, I think it's going to be decent. I don't know if it's going to be like the next best thing, because of course it's an extremely short range weapon, so anything with range can pretty much deal with it But I can definitely see it on maps like Muscle Forge in particular. I think Luna Blaster on that map is just strong in general, and just the weapon just feeling nicer in general is definitely going to help players in wanting to go ahead and use it. And honestly, other than that, that's kind of the biggest things from the patch. Like, we have the Bamboozler. Basically you need to add 1 more sub to do its one-shotting obliteration thing, which, yeah, main power-up is not good for the game, obviously. And of course you have the Splat Charger, basically painting nerf, not the worst thing in the world. You're still going to be able to kill things pretty effectively, you're just probably not going to make the most effective lines, I guess. Oh yeah, Splashdown, I think that's probably the one that we really need to talk about. This can basically do really well against inkjets. I think Splashdown is probably going to be that thing is going to get some extra random kills, especially near inkjets. And also if you're like under some sort of grating, the possibilities of you being killed by it is more likely, which is something actually to take note of. Maybe on maps like Manta Maria, where there are gratings and some higher ground places, you'll probably benefit a lot more with Splashdown on those, especially for maybe like Manta Maria zones or something like that. Also, the change against ballers as well. Splashdown is just going to obliterate ballers. If you're able to predict a baller coming somewhat near you, you can basically just splash down and then the baller is non-existent now. It's basically the thing where if you splash down near some bubbles, they're basically not even there anymore. So pretty much the Splashdown kind of needs it, because the amount of times this thing will get shut down, it's like way too easy now these days. But the thing is, it needs that, because if you remember the start of the game where it was almost a thing where it was just impossible to really deal with it. So I definitely think this thing's going to get a lot more random kills, and it's also going to be really good for more counterplay against anything that has war as well. So with all of that being said, that's pretty much all we have for the patch notes. I mean, there's nothing really else to say. I'm definitely going to play some Luna a little bit more just to kind of figure out how it is. And, you know, let me know in the comment section below of what you guys think of this patch. Will the E-liter ever see the light of day where it has the extra range, which I honestly feel like it needs, because the E-liter makes me just so sad just to think about every day. But basically, that's everything I gotta say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both of you for being generous. Make sure to hit the bell notification button next to the subscription button to let you guys know whenever I do upload a video. And also consider joining my public Discord, where you can go ahead and talk to myself, be notified about everything where I stream and upload a video, and talk to my Dude Society community. So, thank you very much everyone for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you guys in a future video.